Ajay, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you're the managing partner at Vaish Associates, which is a law firm. Tell us a little bit about what you do there.
I am heading this firm, which is a firm engaged in tax, corporate and IP laws practice. We have offices in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore and Gurgaon. And we are a firm with 80 attorneys, some of them with dual qualifications of chartered accountancy and a lawyer, or company secretary and a lawyer. I am myself an accountant and a lawyer, but specializing and practicing as a lawyer now.
Okay, and what are some of the areas that you practice, in terms of what kinds of law that you practice?
Personally, I am a direct tax specialist. So I practice on the tax side. I am responsible for tax advisory and also tax litigation. I handle complex corporate tax matters up to the Supreme Court. I litigate personally before the Supreme Court and the High Court.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the environment for businesses in India, the legal environment for businesses. What are some of the obstacles or hurdles that they have to face, and how do you help them through that?
Businesses that are being set up in India require to obtain couple of permissions, couple of registrations, and we handhold foreign corporations in order to help them set up, incorporate a company, get them registrations which are necessary under the Income Tax Act. If a FIPB permission is necessary for foreign investment, seek the necessary permission, or if an RBI approval is required, help them obtain that. So essentially handhold the company right till it is set up and running.
And you have both foreign and domestic clients?
Yeah, we have a large clientele of large multinational corporations, Indian domestic business houses, a good mix of both of them.
Okay. And right now, as I understand it, foreign law firms are not allowed to set up in India.
That's correct.
Tell us about that, and what are the pros and cons of that?
See, India made a commitment to the WTO that they would open up the legal services market, but within India, opinions are divided. One set of lawyers feel that if the foreign law firms are allowed to set up shop in India, with their deep pockets, they would be able to poach talent and poach business from the existing law firms. So that's clearly a threat that many people feel. And the other thing is, they feel that with the foreign law firms coming in, people would tend to go in for retaining their services, and they would take away the cream of the work. So again, and the experience with the accounting firms, on the accounting side, the big four are present in India. And fact of the matter is, the big four handle, the top end of the work. So lawyers don't want that to be repeated, and lawyers want that if India should open up, they should equally have reciprocity in the other countries as well.
You spoke about the big four accounting firms setting up. What do you offer as a law firm that's a little bit different than, say, the tax practice of a big four accounting firm?
See, basically, as I told you, I am both an accountant and a lawyer. I started practice as an accountant and was a partner with Deloitte, but didn't find that challenging enough. Litigation was my forte. And what the cutting edge that we have compared to the accounting firms who are engaged in tax practice is that we provide the end-to-end solution. We are in tax advisory. We conceptualize the approach that the client must follow, and if it gets into litigation, we can navigate the litigation and see that ultimately our stand is vindicated. Whereas the big four will eventually have to hire lawyers at some stage of the litigation. So, and I think if you are in the court and you have a feel of what the court really thinks, your advice is more practical.
In terms of talent, you talked about, if foreign law firms come in, they might poach talent. What do you look for in talent at your law firm? I mean, is it similar to a U.S. law firm where there's an incoming class from the top law schools, say, every year, almost a stepwise kind of a hiring? Tell us a bit about how that works in India with law firms and your law firm.
Yeah. India also has now currently very good law schools. We have a 5-year integrated law course, extremely professionalized with a very good curriculum, and students from such law schools are extremely knowledgeable, polished, competent. So law firms look to hire these kind of students from these national law universities, and that is one level of hiring. The other is you do get people who are willing to move from one law firm to another, or moving from industry to professional practice. So that's the hiring at a relatively higher level.
So talk about one of the cases that has made some headlines. Vodafone has made some headlines regarding the issue with Hutchison. So tell us a little bit about that case. And
I think Vodafone is a case that is currently being watched across the world, and this is a test case for India as well. You see, if shares of a company which is resident outside of India changes hands between two non-residents, India does not have the jurisdiction to tax, and that's been the accepted position in India. In Vodafone's case, what has happened is the agreement provided that the change of shares at the BVI level, a $1 share of a BVI company has changed hands for I think billions of dollars. And ultimately, as a result of that, the entire chain of subsidiaries, including the last 10 was the India piece, that has also changed hands. So Vodafone became the owner of the India subsidiary, which is running the Vodafone network in India. And the Indian revenue said that this agreement, which seems to be a simple agreement for transfer of shareholding of $1 at the BVI level, is eventually a transfer of business in India and transfer of assets in India, which gives India the nexus to tax this transaction. Vodafone did not withhold any tax out of the payment made to Hutchison of the sale consideration, on the belief that no part of it was taxable in India. So the Indian revenue has taken the easy way to slap Vodafone with a tax demand saying that you defaulted in your withholding obligation, and therefore we need to recover this tax from you. This case is being highlighted in the foreign media as well, because if this goes in favor of the Indian revenue, it will become a test case for several such transactions which have taken place outside of India, resulting in transfer of ownership of the India piece as well.
Right.
And currently this is reached the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is going to hear it in July.
Right, so it's something to watch out for.
Yeah, I think the international media and the international tax community is very alarmed about the prospects of this case.
Right.
Yeah.
And last question. Obviously, the law in India, it's very complex. There's been a lot of media attention about how difficult it is to get anything through courts, etc. What got you interested in the law to begin with? Why did you choose it as a profession?
I always dreamt and visualized myself as a lawyer standing in court and arguing. It took me some years to actually realize that that was my calling, and I then gave up my chartered accountancy degree to specialize into law. I think every case that I fight is a challenge, and it gives you a great high when you are able to put forth innovative, interesting arguments, irrespective of the consequences, whether you win or you lose. But a good nod from the judges or a good word of appreciation from the client that you've done your best, I think gives you a great sense of achievement.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.